Notice, I believe we're changing that date to October 14th.
It'll be the 15th, Ron.
15th, excuse me.
The 14th is a holiday. We have gotten to the point where we made sort of a final, not a final, but we made an offer through discussion with the Locums last Friday. There's still a little bit of work that we need to get done. They're going to go down and dig some holes out there. They want to test the soils themselves, just look inside and see what's down there. Even though we provided the soil analysis from Braun Intertech, they want to dig some test pits, so they want to take a little bit of time to do that. There's still a little bit of gap that they're going to need to figure out how they're going to close, and then we want to have the EDA subcommittee meet with them. Problem we're running into is time to get the notices in, so we'd like to set the date for October 15th. Again, with the assumption that everything will get done between now and then, and we can move forward. But you have here that even these numbers are sort of a rough concept. This is what was last discussed. The mayor was at that subcommittee meeting, along with two other EDA members, and this was sort of the basics of the latest offer.
So they're still interested in going ahead with it?
Very much so.
So that's a plus.
So we would just ask that the council would set that so that we can get the publications in time and hold the hearing.
Now, the EDA, when they meet these numbers,
We'll finalize them.
so this is not what's gonna go in the notice,
No.
it's actually going in paper then?
Yeah,
The EDA will meet one number at a time.
It'll be a little different.
Okay.
But the terminology is close.
The reason for the extra time versus the date that we had here originally was because I want to dig some holes, you said?
Yes, and
There's a variety of reasons.
there's a few financial considerations, and I don't want to force anyone to do this faster than it needs to be. There's a need to get in the ground for the foot-ins so that they can do work over the winter. I understand that, but they agree that there's no point in going forward too quickly. So this gives us plenty of time to make sure that, as you know, I've been at this thing with them for over 2 years, so as we get to the last
2 weeks aren't gonna make a difference.
exactly, get down to the end here, let's just make sure that we're doing it right.
Yeah, it's better everybody feels comfortable about it. So we need a motion to set the public hearing on?
Yep.
So moved. Second.
Clarify Tuesday, October 15th.
Yep.
Alright. Motion by Mr. Hansi, second by Mr. Colbinson. Any more questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes. Thank you. Ordinances, there are none this evening. Number 10, reports, updates, and miscellaneous.
Anything from the council?
And I had told you and mentioned to Chris too that I will miss the EDA meeting Wednesday night. Hate to do that, but nothing I can do
I think we brought you up to date on where we're at
on some of
on
those
some of those issues.
things. Yeah, appreciate that.
During the EDA meeting too, the Legion Riders are doing their 9/11 flag ceremony at 6 p.m. So I'd like to duck out and go to the elevator for that. I don't think I'd be long. So,
I was approached by someone today who wishes to remain anonymous, who was offered to, in his words, donate an amount of money sufficient to rebuild the band shell. They used to be at the western edge here of the island.
Here?
Yep, and he asked me if I would let the council know, and if you wish to consider that.
I'd like to consider it.
Let's consider it.
Peterson's got a beautiful, I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's very nice.
Yes, it is.
That'd be a compliment to the,
And couldn't it be associated with the vets as well?
Could be.
Yeah.
Let's just start the conversation. I say, go right ahead.
Okay.
Anything else? Or does someone wanna wrap up this meeting?
so what's happening on the farm?
Oh, no.
Okay.
On Farmer's Elevator. The architect and the construction manager are finalizing their documents. They had another meeting with the elevator folks 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago. Once they have what they consider to be the strong, not to exceed bid amounts, and what we're doing is we're separating a whole bunch of things out of this project as alternates. So they can, depending on the cost, we can put it in or take it out. Once they get that document back to me, then we'll sit down with Todd from the elevator and whoever else he wants to bring in, and we'll finalize the document. It'll be a triple net lease. We're looking at this point in time, the EDA is looking to borrow that money from the bank using the lease as the security for the note. That way we're not using revolving loan money to put this building up. We're not depleting that by, because we expect it's gonna cost about $500,000. The intention is for the city to be made whole on the value of the land, what the city's paid for the land, what the city's put in the building so far, what we need to put into it for them to move their headquarters there. But it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take 25, 30 years for that to happen. But at the end of the day, we'll have reimbursed. And in the meantime, farmers will have their headquarters there. It could bring a lot of folks that are right now pretty widely dispersed in their sales force and house them all there. So we'll add jobs to the local economy and we'll keep them here.
Sounds good. You know anybody that works in all that?
When you say borrow from the bank, you mean like a bond issue or something, some kind of a lease or a revenue bond?
It's called a lease revenue bond, something like that. Mike Bubani is the one who thought of it, because we were trying to figure out a way that we could do this without, and use the lease as the instrument for security. And we approached the bank, they're interested in doing it. So there's gonna be a fairly expensive legal process, because these aren't normal type bonds that are, they're done, they're legal. It just takes a while to get an opinion. So, but those costs will get rolled into the note as well.
Anything else?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Dahl, second by Mr. Colvinson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All opposed? And the motion passes. We are adjourned.